So good afternoon, and we're glad to see you all. This is our monthly open Goleta RAP meeting for the Goleta community. We're here to discuss any impacts related to homelessness in the Goleta community. My name is Landon Rank. I am the Associate Director with SB Act, and I'm joined by Chuck, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everybody. Chuck Flax. If you don't know me, I'm the Goleta Homelessness Services Coordinator in the Neighborhood Services Department.
And then if I can go to Jaime.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Jaime Valdez, Director of Neighborhood Services. Thank you all for joining.
And George.
Hi, everybody. I'm George Thompson. I'm the Parks and Open Space Manager for the city.
And Mayor Perotti.
I'm Mayor Paula Perotti for the city of Goleta. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you all. I see one or two new faces, so just want to make sure we all are introduced. So we have a couple of general announcements before we start talking about specific regions. So I'll just go through these briefly. Number one is that it's obviously been raining, so warming centers have been active throughout South County. I don't have in front of me the actual South County warming center location, but it's just a reminder to us all to have some extra compassion during this time and note that people are going to be in different locations, staying in different locations than they typically are. So in some instances, that means people may be more visible. The point in time count is this Wednesday. Thank you to everybody who's already signed up. Goleta actually has a good number of volunteers. At this point, we're looking to try and move a couple people over to Isla Vista. So if that's you and you're interested and willing, just let me know. I'd be glad to do that. Yeah, go ahead, Chuck.
I just wanted to report on one bit of news regarding the warming centers. So it's upsetting a little bit to us in Goleta that the closest warming center is in the city of Santa Barbara. And so, you, Landon, and I and others have been trying to get a site in Goleta. I did hear today from the Committee for Social Justice, which has a lived experience group, that I think they're trying to open an Isla Vista warming center. And so I'll keep this group posted as that moves forward. So that would be a bit of a blessing to be able to, because Isla Vista is much closer. So just wanted to pass that information on.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. So then just a note, today is our like I said, our monthly meeting. The next event is this Wednesday, the point in time count, very early in the morning. And then our next open community meeting will be on the 26th of February. After that, there will be a South County-wide all-call meeting that we'd love for as many of you to join as possible. That's where we'll discuss what's going on with homelessness throughout the entire region, since we know people travel throughout the regions and people can maybe get housing in one part of the region and then suddenly homelessness changes in that neighborhood. So we encourage you to join us just to keep abreast of everything that's going on. I don't see anyone from the county or the housing authority on the call today, but I know the update that I got last week with regard to the Buena Tierra project. So for those of you who aren't familiar, this is the new permanent housing that will be opening in the former Super 8 motel over on Hollister. And so this is going to be specifically for people who were formerly experiencing homelessness. And it's 60 units total. And so they're planning to begin moving people in phases. And the first phase, they're hoping to have about 20 people move in at the end of February. And then the remainder would be moving in March. So this is really good news. Chuck talks a lot about flow for homelessness and how important it is to have people or types of housing at all levels, whether it's emergency shelter or permanent housing. But by opening up these 60 units, it means that we'll be able to free up 60 beds either in our shelter system or in the interim housing, the transitional housing that we have. So it just opens up a lot more space for everybody. So we're excited to hear that. I don't know if there's any other updates from the city of Goleta with regard to Buena Tierra that I'm not sharing right now. Okay. All right. So I think with that, we'll start with just some updates from our outreach providers. So why don't we start with our team from Safe Parking? I see Cora here.
Hello, everybody. Not too many updates. I do want to update that we do have a couple new people. We've got an outreach team now. So there's 2 more people that their specific job is for outreach. So we're getting them up and running, showing them hotspots, stuff like that. Other than that, we don't really have any updates. We've been sort of just busy trying to get prepared for the point in time count. And then we'll be back to our vigorous outreach schedule after that.
Thank you, Cora. All right, let's go to our team with CityNet.
Hi, everyone. This is Ellen Antignoli with CityNet. No major updates. Yeah, just getting ready for pick count. We got some packets for Buena on Friday, so now we'll be chasing those people down to make sure we can get those turned in by the 30th. I've been trying to locate people all morning. We are hiring for 2 positions right now. If you have anyone interested in homeless services that wants to work in outreach. Our outreach is focused on Old Town Goleta, the train tracks from Los Carneros area down to Fairview, up to Elwood Station Road. We did get someone housed last week, so that was really exciting. But yeah, other than that, nothing major. Obviously, if you have questions about specific areas, I'm more than happy to provide those updates.
Thank you, Ellen. All right, let's go to our Good Samaritan team.
Good morning, everyone. Usually Todd is giving this specific update, but we are in transition of grabbing one of our clients from Tarzana right now. He has 12 days sober right now with this help of Good Sam. So we're doing that. In this past week, we have been able to get 4 other clients document ready and just really navigating doctor's appointments and all of that great stuff. We've been able to put 2 individuals into the sobering center. One of those individuals was transitioned into detox in Tarzana. We were able to get 1 person housed. And we are currently, like Ellen said, scrounging around to get these Buena Tierra packages filled out and done. So that is our biggest major priority. With all of that being done, we will hopefully have about 6 of our clients into that kind of housing, which we're really excited about. That's a very big one for us. When it comes to Fulcrum, we have Fulcrum, the entire Elwood area, the entire slough, when it comes to the PG&E property. And we have updated all of those spaces with the accurate HMIS numbers instead of having people's names on there. So that's a general consensus of what Good Sam has been doing.
Thank you, Anais. And let's go to George with the city of Goleta.
Great, thanks so much. In terms of activities, we've been focused on just continuing to monitor our larger open spaces for new encampments. So that's in particular Elwood Mesa and Lake Los Carneros. We've had some activity at Elwood in the last week at the southeastern end, and our outreach team that's on the call has been doing a great job of trying to make contact with those folks. Chuck, maybe you and I can tag team on Project Connect, because this is a big effort that's coming up right around the corner. So for those of you on the call that are not familiar with Project Connect, it's the city's largest capital project. It's a transportation improvement project, and it's going to be focused mainly on the eastern part of Old Town Goleta. Several major impacts to traffic and roadways, but for encampments, we've got several areas that are going to need to be closed off for construction. And so Chuck and I are coordinating on outreach to those areas. They are going to be hard closure because we'll have construction crews. And so we'll be coordinating behind the scenes with our teams on making sure that the folks that are currently camped in those areas have outreach and options before the construction crews move in. Chuck, anything else you want to
Yeah, I've given a heads up to all the outreach teams because you all have clients in this area currently, in one stage or another. I think, quite a few clients that aren't in HMIS, some clients that are. And so I know that there was a discussion that I couldn't attend. I think Jaime was there. Jaime, was that with outreach providers
No, that was just internal staff with
Oh, that's right.
Public
That's right.
Works.
So I did meet with a few folks, but I think, just I'm going to continue on Mondays. We're going to continue to bring this up in our Monday meetings with our outreach folks. They're really trying to get the area closed off by really, the end of this month, or certainly mid-February. But I mean, I think the goal, they're going to be really pushing hard to put up fencing and closing off areas. And I have sent maps to you all. And we will continue this conversation. It's going to be, I think, a somewhat major effort over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and just to be clear, we don't know if there's going to be fencing at all, or if it's going to be cones or whatever, but we're certainly trying to address a number of different issues. Part of it is the staging and timing with the contractor. This contract is very new. So it's part of it is the staging because it's so big in size and scope. And then the other part is just, the legal noticing, and obviously our concern up front is the folks that are unhoused. And so as long as we're, getting to them early and often to let them know this is coming, we're hoping that makes for a better transition of effort and time. But at some point, yeah, it will be necessary for absolutely no one to be in those areas because they will be construction zones.
Yeah, and just to be specific, because there are several different work areas for the project, but we're mainly focused on the section between the end of Elkwell along Old San Jose Creek as it moves towards Pine. And then the other main construction areas are along Hollister at 217. There's going to be 2 roundabouts going in there. And so those kind of more natural areas along the fringes of that intersection. We know we've got several encampments currently in that vicinity. Okay, and then just to wrap up the parks and open space, just with all of the weather, we are very cognizant of trying to do as much outreach in advance of these big storms that we're getting. The longer term forecast keeps going back and forth, whether we're going to have a mildly wet February and March or a very, very wet February, March. And so they are still looking at a very wet February. And so for folks camped along creeks, that's vitally important that they're not down in the flood zone. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, George. Chuck or Jaime, is there anything else from the city of Goleta?
Yeah, so tomorrow is a meeting of the ordinance committee, and while this is not specifically a focus on homelessness, there will be impacts to people living in vehicles. So I don't know whether anybody here is planning on attending, but if anyone wants more information about that meeting, I'm happy to send more details. But basically what we're looking at are increasing parking restrictions at Phelps Road and Pacific Oaks Road, and enforce. And again, I can't predict exactly what the ordinance committee is going to decide or what the future enforcement picture will look like, but we have had quite a few concerns expressed by residents about people living in their vehicles, particularly recreational vehicles in that area. So this will be something discussed tomorrow, I believe. I don't have my calendar.
I think it's at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Okay, great.
Yeah, and just to, again, Chuck did a great job that this is not a specifically a homeless issue. It's a parking issue, and it's very important that we address it from that lens. And so part of it is looking at not just folks that may or may not be living in vehicles. It's also about what type of size vehicles. It also there's been complaints in the past about loading and unloading of items and larger trucks, big 18-wheel trucks. So it's looking at the whole area as a whole and trying to find a good balance. And so from our perspective, we really want folks' input. We don't want to feel like we're making these decisions kind of on an island. So if you're able to go and it's something that you think might be worthwhile for other folks to know about, again, just it should be on our website. If not, I think Chuck's made himself available to to send that information out. So
I'm going to
thank you.
post the link to the agenda item in the chat.
Okay.
But I do want to answer Kirsten's question that she posted in the chat, which is specifically the proposal from staff is that the existing no parking that's on Phelps be extended to this area that has been long used by residents for parking, but it's technically a no parking zone. It just hasn't been enforced. It hasn't been there's no signs posted that there's no parking. So that would be between Pacific Oaks and Cannon Green on Phelps. And then the Pacific Oaks corridor between Hollister and Phelps will have new parking restrictions. The two proposals are either no parking at night at all, and the other proposal will be no large vehicle parking at night because the current city ordinance allows for large vehicle parking at night. So there would be signage specific to Pacific Oaks. And the ordinance committee will be deciding how they want to proceed.
Yeah, we really want to direct all the comments and thoughts to that meeting. And specifically, even if you live in the area or don't, and you have something to say, it's right by Gersh Park. So we want to try to get as much input as we can. The ordinance committee serves as a sounding board. And an opportunity to kind of think through some items, and then they'll ultimately make a recommendation, hopefully, or else we'll have to go back again. But usually a recommendation is made to the city council, and then that serves again as another public opportunity to chime in as well. So nothing is set in stone based on what happens tomorrow, but it does begin to start to say, we're heading in one direction or another, at least two members of the committee feel one way or the other. So I'll leave it at that.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
All right, so with that, we'll go ahead and open it up for any questions or concerns or areas of impact from the community. I know it's just Judy and Mary today. I don't know if either of you has anything to share or update on. All right. Oh, if you wanted to share, Mary, go for it.
I think she's trying to unmute. There she is.
There we go. I can just tell you that we've been having about 40 every week at our Tuesday luncheons, and I might be able to help if you're looking for some people that need to fill out the packets for Buena Tierra, they may come to our luncheons, and we're there from 11 to 1 on Tuesdays at the at the Isla Vista Community Center. The blue building at the back of the loop.
That's great. Thank you, Mary. All right. If there's nothing else, we can wrap up early, but I just want to make sure, is there anything anyone else wants to raise while we're all together this month? If not, you'll be able to find us Wednesday at 5:30 a.m. at City Hall for the point in time count. So if you do have any questions that come up, just
I would just add on, Landon, since we have folks here, just how things are going over at Christ Lutheran Church with oh my God, I'm blanking on the name of it. The Neighborhood Navigation Center, NNC. Sorry.
So slow goings. So we had the numbers grew a little bit towards the end of the year, and then we had 2 Mondays off because of Christmas and then New Year's. So we're kind of just it feels like we're resetting a little bit and reminding everyone that we're out there. And so the last couple of weeks we've had 2 to 4 people. And so we'll see. We have a couple of faith communities that have signed on to provide meals now, so we'll have a little more consistency with that. And then Showers of Blessing said that they might be open to some kind of partnership. And so we're just trying to figure out what that would look like.
Yeah, I was just hoping to get a reminder out to folks to say it's been going. And so the more help we can getting the word out, the better.
Mayor Purdy, I know this is a little bit off the it's not off the subject, but it's putting you on the spot, and I don't mean to. But MTD supposedly had a plan for something called the Wave,
Yes.
which was to run a van that would go down Los Caneros to Hollister, which would run right by the neighborhood navigation center. Do you know what the status is of the Wave? I've inquired and gotten no response from them.
Well, the original issue was we ordered vans and we received the vans, all electric vans. And then after that, it was an issue finding drivers. My understanding is that they're pretty well fully staffed now. I just need to find out whether they're in the still training. And where we're at with that as well. I'm curious, and I'll talk to the general manager and find out. It should be starting up. I really do think so. I know anxiously there's a lot of people also at the university that's inquiring about it.
And this is an opportunity both for our outreach folks and for our homeless residents to be able to come directly to the neighborhood navigation center. It's kind of an exciting new addition to the Goleta Transit.
Yes.
So
they're in the map. It's a pilot program for a year, and if it's successful, we're hoping to get more funding and keep it going. But the first year is Goleta, the second year is Carpinteria.
What are the hours of the navigation center?
oh, go ahead, Linda.
So we're there Mondays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So actually my staff colleague is out there right now. They have an indoor space at the church, so they're likely doing their lunch inside that community room today, but otherwise will be out in the picnic tables.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. If there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and wrap up for today. But I'll see some of you Wednesday morning and wish you all a good week. Thanks,
Yeah,
everyone.
just to, I mean, it's a, before everybody signs off, I just, it's sad that we're not getting more kind of public participation. We have been noticing the public. This time was a little bit confusing, I think, because of there's a lot of information going out about the point in time count and about, and the holidays, et cetera. So, but we're hoping that we can encourage, working people to take their lunch break and meet with us. So we'll see you in the future.
And I just want to quickly say Happy New Year to everyone, and to thank everyone for the hard work that you all do.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for that, Chuck. I appreciate it. All right. We'll see you all.
All right. Thank you, everybody.